Para sa mga ekonomista, future ekonomista at ekonomista at heart.
Welcome to the JPES Experience Podcast, the official podcast of the Junior Philippine Economic Society.
This is your host, Gabrielle Sofia Tamula from the Academics Committee.
And this is your other host, Catherine Sagigit from the Event Management Committee.
So far naman, Terry, how was your JPES experience? Can you tell us about it?
Being with EM, it's very thrilling and exciting. And ngayon pa lang, marami ka na experiences na nakuha. And I'm so thrilled and I'm so excited for more projects with my team. How about you, Gab?
Well, ako, Terry, I think I'm very privileged that I'm a part of the Academics Committee. Kasi aside from I am learning, I believe it's nice no, na I was able to be of service by sharing my knowledge and some of my skills. So, ayun, I like it. So, yeah, I'm done.
Yun, kaya naman, the JPS experience is really rewarding talaga. So, for season 2 of our podcast, we will be talking more on the topics of economics and social issues.
Sa totoo lang, Terry, you know what? I'm so excited kasi sa season na ito, marami tayong pasabog. And speaking of pasabog, ayun, I believe masusurprise talaga ang lahat dahil sa ating mga surprise guest speakers. Pero ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay Economics 101.
Okay, so first things first, Gab. Ano nga ba ang economics?
So ayun, to answer that, Terry, ito yung kung paano ang mga tao nagde-decide sa use of scarce resources. Siguro yung tumatak sa akin when I took up microeconomics is the Greek word oikonomia or oikonomos, nang ibig sabihin ay household management. Kaya naman pala often namimistook yung economics as yung nagluluto-luto lang or naglalaba, or in short, the home economics, kasi nga relevant talaga siya sa household management.
That is so true
Yun.
talaga, Gab. So, bakit nga ba considered as a branch of social science ang economics?
Eto, di ko naman alam, pa-quiz bee pala to dito. So ayun, I think, Terry, the economics is considered a branch of social sciences kasi it deals with human behavior, especially on how efficient we are sa pag-a-allocate at paglalaan ng mga scarce resources para matugunan yung mga kailangan natin and of course our wants. Pero bakit nga ba natin dapat pag-aralan ang tamang paglalaan or efficient allocation?
Well,
Can you answer me?
this is because dahil ito sa scarcity of resources or generally scarcity, which is a commonly used term in economics. Yes, guys, this is the correct pronunciation of the word scarcity. And kahit na different school nga tayo, but there's only one correct pronunciation of this word. So now you know.
Ayun, nagulat naman ako sa pa-scarcity. Though I like it though. So actually, Terry, I can remember favorite i-highlight ng professor ko sa econ yung word na scarcity. Ayan. Pero ano nga bang ibig sabihin nito?
So, ang ibig sabihin ng scarcity ay ang matinding pangangailangan or needs ng mga tao. Pero, sobrang konti lang ng mga pagkukunan or ang resources. So, basically, ito yung we have unlimited wants and unlimited needs. Pero, we only have the limited availability of resources.
Grabe sa episode na ito, nare-recall talaga natin yung isa sa mga pinaka-basic at pinaka-importante na lesson for us, economics major.
Yes, and speaking of economic students like us, later on we'll be joined by 3 guest economic students from different universities to share with us their experience in our chosen field of study.
That's right, Terry. I'm sure marami ang makaka-relate sa mga experiences and stories nila dahil for sure, halos lahat ng mga future economista dyan and ekonomista at heart ay naku-curious about the experiences of these people.
Yes, so before anything else, we will first talk about the importance of studying economics. So bakit ba natin kailangan pag-aralan yung economics? And gaano ba ito ka-relevant sa ating day-to-day life? Kasi meron yung mga tao na sasabihin na, ba't ba kailangan nating aralin yung economics, di ba?
Ayun, that's why today we are introducing the topic 2, which is why we should study economics. So as we move forward with our JPES experience, hindi naman pwede na basta-basta lang natin pag-aralan ng economics, right? So we need to know the importance of it in our lives as a student, and as an individual.
Yes, so based on Appalachian State University, they said that it is important to study economics kasi it helps people understand their world. There will be a better response to threats and opportunities that come up with changes by studying economics, which also understands the business, markets, and the governments.
Right, Terry, as a student, as a consumer myself, aside from the nahahasa o mapapabuti pa ang problem solving at critical thinking skills. So yan, aside sa sinabi mo, I believe mas lalo tayong nahahasa when it comes to decision making, ano. And hence, dahil dito, nakakagawa tayo ng mas mga mabubuti or wiser decisions.
That is so true, Gab. And another fun fact ha, alam mo ba na ayon sa Durham University, may 5 reasons as to why we should study economics. Okay, so first of all, economics inform decision. Economists provide information and forecast-based data and modelings, which means na lahat ng knowledge that comes from these sources is hindi lang siya basta-basta gawa-gawa lang ng mga ekonomista.
I couldn't agree more with you, Terry. As an economics student, I know how important these data sources are. Pero ang dami mong data ha, ang dami mong facts.
Talaga naman, it's a fun fact night para naman ma-inform ang ating listeners. So, another reason is that economics influences everything. The information and forecasts provide answers to have an impact on household and wider community decisions. So, itong mga data na nakukuha ng mga economists, hindi lang siya piniprint as a thesis or a research study, but it is very useful talaga in making decisions that will affect our economy, lalo na yung government natin. Sila yung, they make use of an economist reports para mag-help sa decision making kung ano dapat yung move nila, saan sila mag-invest, ganito, ganyan.
Yes, I agree with you, Terry. And yeah, it basically impact industries. At sa pamamagitan ng pag-aaral ng economics, I like it that we were able to know yung mga career options natin in all the sectors of economy by the firms relying on the economists. So, ayun.
Yes, and second to the last reason as to why we should study economics is that it is because economics inspires business successes. Kasi economists provide theories and models which understand consumer and producer behavior, just like what you said earlier na super helpful talaga nito not only to business people in the government but also to us as buyers and consumers.
And lastly, Terry, if I may add, syempre may pa-fun fact din ako. So it gives us international perspective. Isa ito talaga sa mga importanteng na ibibigay sa atin ng economics. Because yeah, it gives us international perspective, and through this, we were able to understand how different cultures and societies interact.
Yes, and those reasons had been very helpful for us, Gab, and for our listeners. So after hearing the 5 reasons on why we should study economics, mas lalo ko pang minahal yung course natin and mas lalo ko siyang na-appreciate talaga.
Wow. For me then, feeling ko the feeling is mutual. Though mahirap siya, but I like it that after studying this, I know I'm not yet done. I'm still studying it. But I like it ba na it was able to give me, or it allows me to make wiser decisions. Kasi 'di ba, hindi lang tayo estudyante ng economics, kundi mga consumers din tayo.
Yeah, so very useful talaga economics. Kahit students pa lang tayo, nagagamit natin siya in our day-to-day life, di ba?
Of
So,
course. Natatakot ka na talagang mag-add to cart na basta-basta. You have to make wiser decisions.
true, mas lalong marami kang risk-taking sa mga ganong decision. So, Gabs, di ba Gabs, sa economics, there are two types of econ, which is microecon and macroeconomics. So, between these two, ano yung mas prefer mong aralin and why?
May naalala tuloy akong meme regarding regarding that, macroeconomics and microeconomics, pero hindi ko na lang i-share. And to answer your question, Terry, siguro my answer would be microeconomics. Kasi from its definition, it studies the behavior of individual economic units, which are the producers and the consumers alike. And from the word micro itself, it deals with small or individual units. So basically, Terry, it studies the behavior in the decision making of individuals, the households, the firms, and also it helps us to allocate our resources better.
Wow! So, microecon talaga yung mas prefer mo. Kasi, ako personally, mas gusto kong aralin yung macroeconomics. From the definition itself, it studies the national and international economy. This means na lahat ng sectors of the economy are under that umbrella of macroeconomics, which also includes microeconomics. So, parang all-in-one na talaga yung macro. That's why I like it better.
And yes, Terry, and I agree with you. But of course, I think yung microeconomics is parang iisang tree lang, while macroeconomics is the entire forest. So I believe this analogy, Terry, is best to describe the differences of these two types of economics.
Yeah, so para malaman lalo ng listeners natin if what are the difference of micro and macro, can we discuss about the specifics and the technical definition nitong dalawang types of econ?
Ayun, mapapa-research naman tayo dito. So, ayun, Terry, to discuss the specifics, if we become a little bit technical with it, microeconomics deals with the issues in demand, supply, factor pricing, product pricing, economic welfare, production, and consumption. How about your macroeconomics, Terry?
Yes naman, paglalaman ko na yung macro ko. So as for macroeconomics, it deals with the issues in national income, distribution, employment, general price level, and generally money.
And now that we know the definitions of macro and microeconomics, Terry, I want to know, ano nga ba ang ganap ng microeconomics and macroeconomics or ang significance nito? I want to know from you.
Sige, so microeconomics is significant in regulating the prices of a product as well as the prices of factors of production like labor, land, entrepreneur, capital within the economy. For example, you have this favorite chip. Sabihin natin na, let's pretend the favorite is VCAT. so, so VCAT na yan, microecon is responsible for regulating its prices if 25 pesos ba siya, if 30 or bababa. And also the prices of the factors of producing that product, which is the labor, which is yung workers na gumawa ng product na yon, the land, the entrepreneur, and the capital. Habang yung macroeconomics naman is significant in maintaining broad price stability and addresses major economic issues such as deflation, inflation, rising prices, unemployment, and poverty in general.
Wow, Terry, mic drop. Talaga nakikinig ka sa professors mo. Well, that was economics in a nutshell. Grabe, those were the basics of economics pa lang. Pero ang daming ganap. And sana marami ring natutunan ng ating mga listeners from our topic today.
Indeed naman, Gab. Kahit naman tayo ay na-refresh din sa basics ng ating major na natutunan natin from our fresh year.
Kaya naman, looking forward ako sa mga susunod pa nating episodes, especially sa ating podcast, dahil I'm sure mas marami pa tayong matututunan and makukuha ng mga information.
Yes, so at this very moment ay maririnig na natin ang experiences and stories ng mga economic students sa kanilang mga first-hand experiences while studying economics. Starting with Miss Raya.
So hello, I'm Raya de los Santos. Currently, hindi. Tapos na pala ako ng third year. Hindi pa ako naka-move on. Going fourth year na ako. And ayun, 1 year na lang, graduate na. And I'm from Team Admin and Logistics. So hello guys. Guess na ako, pangarap ko to. Tinupad nila yon. Salamat.
Nax, ayan, last few years na lang ni Miss Raya. Sana all.
Yes!
Congrats! So, next naman is si Miss Suzea.
So I am Suzea Divinigabon, first-year student, currently taking up BS Economics in Visayas State University. And I am from team members and alumni relations. Shoutout nga pala ako sa VP namin na si Miss Angelica. At sa napaka-cute na kong mga standing committee. Yun lang.
Next, we have a freshie tonight. Next, we have Miss Hannah.
Ayan, hello, good day. I am Hannah Marie Burko from Corporate Partnership Committee. Shout out pala Lodi, VP Clark. Woo!
Wow. So ayun, we welcome you po sa ating podcast this day. And I hope ready kayo sa pa-Q&A natin. So ayun,
Kakabahan na ba kami dyan, Gab?
the first question is, ito na po. Tan-tararan, char. So ayun, here's the question. How was your experience studying economics? And how did you deal with your major? Siyempre, nandun ka na po, di ba? Since you are already in your fourth year, Miss Raya, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Sige, ako na first. To be honest, nung senior high school ako, I don't have a clear vision what course will I take. And sabi kasi nila, economics deals with the whole business sector na when you talk about it. Parang andun na yung marketing, andun na yung finance, entrep, andun na din. And nung first year ako, lagi kami nagkatanungan ng classmates ko, bakit ka nag-econ? Tapos lagi ang mga sagot namin, hindi ko rin alam. Tapos, nagugulat na lang kami kasi after na lang mga 1 year, third year, going third year na, parang doon na kami nagkakaroon ng clear vision, bakit kami nag-econ. Kasi di ba parang everyday, may decision making ka talaga. Like parang, if you're going to choose pa lang, choice A or B, andun yung opportunity cost agad. How you deal with decision paralysis, mga ganon. So, parang, hindi lang siya face ng buhay mo. Parang, everyday, andun na talaga siya. Like, when you grow up na, kapag nag-work ka na, and then later on, ng different stages in your life, and ma-absorb mo talaga. So, I'm very thankful na nag-econ ako. Kasi, ayun nga, nakakasad kasi lagi na lang sinasabi na wala tayong department ganyan. But no, I think as an econ student, flexible tayo. Like, kahit saan pwede ka. So, I think that's one of the perks. And masasabi ko na after I grad, I'm really glad that I took economics as major ko. So, yun lang.
Yes, true. Very flexible yung mga economic student. And I like it na, I don't know if this is a bad thing or not, pero parang karamihan sa atin dumaan sa confused na stage,
Yes, totoo. Siguro
Yeah.
kasama na yun sa decision making mo sa ekonomista. Like parang sure ka ba na gusto mo mag-economics yan? 'Di ba? Pero I
True.
think talaga later on in life, doon mo makikita yung clear na purpose kung bakit andito tayo sa econ. Ayan.
Yes po. Thank you, Miss Raya. Now we will
Thank
proceed
you.
sa ating Miss Freshie.
Okay, I'm not really expecting na I will take this degree because everything seems unplanned and I'm just going with the flow. Pero nang in-introduce sa akin yung economics, I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. But when the semester started and the subjects were shown, parang, it's a prank, pwede bang mag-back out? Because I have no idea the combination pala ito and application ng math at logic. But I'm not discouraging you not to take economics because I can tell you, economics is really, really fun. Kagaya nga ng sinabi ni Miss Raya na until ngayon, yung mga kaklase ko, we keep on asking, bakit nga ba tayo nag-econ? So, econ nga ba is for us? Kaya ngayon nasa stage kami to find out na if economics is really for us.
Yes, econ is fun indeed. It's actually a combination of tears and laughters. So ayun, thank you so much po, Miss Zia. Next is Miss Hannah.
About my experience, para siyang rocky road kasi at first, smooth lang siya. Yung parang, analysis lang, gano'n. Mag-a-analyze lang ng data, gano'n. And akala ko it's purely narrative. And yung nag-start na yung class, parang wow, numbers pala lahat yung i-analyze mo, parang gano'n. So, bumpy road, may bumpy road, merong smooth road, parang gano'n yung experience ko in studying economics. But totally, it's really fun studying economics kasi may time na tatawa ka kasi hindi mo naiintindihan yung part ng lessons and iiyak ka kasi ang hirap pala kapag exam na. So, talagang economics is fun.
Thank you, Miss Hannah, for highlighting that economics is fun. But I really think na you're better than the others when it comes to expectations sa kursong ito. Kasi marami rin, they think na economics is about cooking, just like what I've said earlier. Meron ding mga palabalaba lang. Hello! So, ayun. Next question would be from from Miss Terry. Si Miss Terry yung magbibigay ng third question.
Ayan. So, I must comment talaga na econ is a rocky road. Kasi, nung fresh year ako, parang microecon pa lang tayo. Basic lang, mga definition. Tapos, if may math man is super basic din lang. And then, come second year, grabe, we have macroecon. Tapos, may ASAD model, may ISLM model, tapos may mga formula hindi ko maintindihan. Grabe, girl. Tapos kaya, ayun. Pero, yun nga, econ is fun despite of all calculus and mathematical part. So, our third question for our guest is that, di ba, kanina kasi, Gab, we have asked each other if ano mas prefer natin, micro or macro. So, ngayon naman, let us ask our guests if ano yung mas prefer nila, microeconomics or macroeconomics. Again, let's hear first from Miss Raya.
Hello, so yun. Micro or macro? I think I'll go with macro. Kasi kakatapos ko lang ng third year, nag-research mo na kami, kakatapos lang namin doon. And I saw na mas madali pa lang humanap ng data for macro. And for macro kasi, mas more on complex siya, more on journals, ganyan, mas more on sources. So I think if ever, I'm going to choose micro or macro, I'll go with macro. Kasi for me, I don't like complicated things. Kasi for me, macro is less complicated than micro. But micro and macro both essential to our. But for me, as an incoming fourth year student, I would say that I would choose macro.
Ayan, I have another teammate for Team Pro Macro Econ.
Let's go!
Let's go, Team Macro Econ. Okay, so next naman natin is Miss Zea. Miss Zea, Micro Econ or Macro Econ?
For me, I'll go with macroeconomics since I have no background pa sa macro and micro kasi sabi ko lang is I'm just starting but we only have the definition, the description. So for me, exciting yung macroeconomics kasi dito malalaman mo yung how the economy behaves and how the economy works in general, such as yung buying and selling, the production and consumption, o lahat-lahat na nasa market in economy. Dito mo rin malalaman yung the rate of unemployment, the inflation, and mga factors na nakaka-apekto sa recession, which is for me interesting na malaman pa o madagdagan pa yung knowledge ko about.
Ayan, we have a freshie nga pala. So, ayun, good luck talaga for yung macro-econ next school year. Pero ano naman siya, very fun nga talaga. Kasi mas lalo kang, marami kang matutunan more on econ as a whole, tsaka mas nationwide, tsaka international-wide talaga. Pero good luck talaga sa math kasi ngayon pa lang medyo di na ako natutuwa. So, next is Miss Hannah.
Well, if I'm going to choose between macro and micro, I'll go with microecon. Kasi curious talaga ako sa individual choice. Parang gusto ko malaman kung, uy, ano kaya choice niya? Coffee ba or milk? Ganon. So, I really, I really like microecon. And kasi I also believe in small things matter. So, dun ako nagsa-start sa mga maliliit na bagay kasi yung maliliit na bagay, nagkakaroon din siya ng big impact. So, I really like micro kasi part din siya ng macroecon.
Ayan, we have a teammate for Miss Gab para sa Team Pro Micro Econ. Pero ayun nga, Micro Econ is also very exciting kasi parang mas personalized talaga siya. Saka mas na-apply mo siya sa sarili mo. Lalo na if you're going to buy something sa grocery or sa mall, parang feeling expert ka na talaga kasi you have studied microecon and decision making. So our fourth question comes from Miss Gab.
Ayan, here's the fourth question. Sana naman may marinig akong mag-I thank you sa last. Char. So eto na nga, fourth question natin. Why do you think economics is important or relevant?
OMG, pang beauty queen worthy yung yung question. So, ayun. So, minention mo kanina, Gab, na before, when we say economics, usually papasok sa isip mo talaga is home economics. And I admit, I'm one of those people before. But when I entered senior high school, I learned that it's not all about the household context, di ba? Parang every day it deals with decision making natin as an individual. And we can all agree to na economics talaga is part of our lives. And we may not notice, but it is. So, decision making pa lang, tumatakbo na yung sinasabi natin na opportunity cost eh. Opportunity cost which is connected with decision paralysis, tackles how we tackle it, overcome, and deal with it. So, yun nga, I'm not really good with math with econ. But after I took those courses, kasi parang ako kasi yung tipo na if you're going to rate 1 to 10, gano'ng kagaling sa math, 0 ako. Like, hindi talaga ako nag-excel in math. But, nung nag-econ ako, doon ko na-prove na I can do things pala na hindi ko akalain na kaya kong gawin before. So, yun lang. Gusto ko lang end yung statement ko with, sabi kasi nila, jack of all trades, master of none tayo. But I think, jack of all trades is a master of none. But oftentimes, we are better than master of one. So, yun. Thank you.
Wow, ang galing naman.
Ay, thank you. Ayan, nakalimutan ko.
Ayun, nakuha ko na talaga yung gusto ko marinig. And ang galing mo po.
Ayan.
And Miss Raya, I have a fair share of the same experiences. Pero may isang bagay na hindi ko makakalimutan from you this night. Opportunity cost. You mentioned it a lot of
Gusto mo
times.
yarn? Sorry medyo
Gusto ko
ako
yarn.
doon. Nastuck ako doon nung first year. Doon ako parang yun yung tumatak sa akin nung fresh year. Ganon. So, yun.
Yes, it actually highlights the need to weight things para makabigay tayo or makagawa tayo ng better decisions. So, yes, thank you, Miss Raya. Let's proceed to Miss Freshie. I like calling you po Miss Freshie kasi Freshie ka naman talaga.
So thank you for that wonderful question, Charot. Economics is important and relevant because it is helpful in creating wise decisions, and it's like how we see the world and a reflection of how we live. We all know naman that economics is everywhere. Kahit ang pagkakaroon ng balya sa ating pitaka ay economics na yun. It's a literate person na beneficial para sa ating lahat.
Wow, thank you, Miss Suzia. I would like to highlight yung financial literacy kasi sa totoo lang, Philippines is too poor in that aspect. And that's actually my goal, to be financially literate. And medyo malayo-layo pa yon siguro. But at least I know that we are starting, especially tayong mga economic students. So yun, thank you, Miss Suzia. We will be proceeding to Miss Hannah.
Economics is relevant kasi, and it's also important kasi first thing in the morning, kahit pag gising mo pa lang, choosing between having coffee or having breakfast is already part of an economics. Yung parang every move mo sa bahay, every consume mo ng energy, water, or even yung rice is part of economics na as a whole. And I really like economics kasi in terms of making decision. If you're going to study really economics, it teaches you how to be wise in choosing things and finding alternatives. Being yung it's really true about financial literacy. Kasi hindi ka na lang basta-basta magsispend ng money kasi alam mo na yung magiging result if magsispend ka ng too much sa isang bagay. And also, it is really important kasi para kasi siya yung big part ng society kasi hindi alam ng tao na yung kapag walang economics sa hindi totally work yung market kasi big part siya ng market. So I hope na yung tao hindi nasasabi, ay, economics lang siya, ganun. Parang ang liit-liit ng economics para sa kanila. Hindi nila alam na economics should be highlighted all the time. Not just sasabihin na, ay, economics lang. Dapat it should be, ay, economics siya. Ganon. Thank you!
Wow, thank you so much, Miss Hannah. Gusto ko yung hindi lang economics, kundi economics siya. So, ayun. Very important talaga ang economics based on what you said and based on what others have said kanina.
Ayan, that is so true naman. Ang rami talagang na-share sa atin ng guest natin for this episode. And I must agree talaga sa mga nasabi nila kasi despite of being from different year levels, mas nakaka-relate talaga tayo sa isa kasi econ is a hard major pero so rewarding niya kasi it's something that you can use ngayon pa lang and it's very useful and significant in our daily life, not only in our future careers. So that sums up our episode for today. And sana marami tayong napulot na aral and sana rin nakatulong kami sa mga aspiring economistas out there.
Ayun, and not just aspiring economistas, Terry, ha? I will never get tired of saying this kasi hindi lang sa mga aspiring ekonomista ito, kundi pati na rin sa mga ekonomista at heart.
Ayan. So, before ending our episode, we must thank you, our 3 guest speakers for this day. Ngayon, we have Miss Raya, Miss Zaya, Miss Hannah. Thank you very much talaga for being with us for this episode kasi alam naman natin na some of us are in their summer breaks na talaga and gusto na nating mag-beach and besides, instead na magliwaliw na tayo for our hot girl summer, nandito kayo with us talking about econ, but we really appreciate your time and effort.
Thank you for listening for today's episode. Share your thoughts and use hashtag the JPES experience whenever you post. Support Junior Philippine Economic Society in our different social media platforms in Facebook, Junior Philippine Economic Society, Twitter, IG, and Shopee at the JPES 1987. Also in our Spotify and YouTube accounts.